Good evening. Welcome to the Imps View podcast show with me, Cornell B, live and direct match reaction to Lincoln City versus the mighty Stevenage, where we, Lincoln City, have just lost 1-0 to the Stevenage at the Lamech Stadium. Before I get into the video, I'd say thank you very much to the 452 subscribers who are subscribed to my YouTube channel. It absolutely means the world to me. Keep on smashing likes, keep on leaving your opinions, keep on leaving your reactions and your thoughts on today's game and the result. And I'd love to hear what you guys think. So let's get into the video. So today, obviously, us Lincoln City lost 1-0 to a better Stevenage side after, the second half wasn't good enough from us. We lacked fight, we lacked determination. And, it was Skabala's first game in charge since taking over as Lincoln City head coach. Obviously, there was no changes to the team. Obviously, only one change that really happened. There was no Dylan Duffy. Dylan Duffy was put to the bench, so we saw Hamilton play in an attacking role on the wing, on the left wing, with Vale and Mandroyu on the right and Vale up front. Obviously, we saw Smith and Ethan Aron playing in midfield, and then we saw back three of Mitchell, Jackson, and TJ Ulmer at the back, and then of course Jensen in goal, and then Sorensen and Barbers on both right and the wing backs as well. I gotta be honest, I think the first half was fantastic. I thought we had a very good impact on the first half. I thought we played really, really well. I thought we pressed Stevenage very, very well on the counter attack, even when they were causing problems. That Roberts, forwards, who used to play for Lincoln City, he was causing so much problems for us going forward. He was making our defense work, but I thought TJ Ulmer played really, really well, and I thought he put himself on the line when it was needed, and that's the reason why Skabala obviously wants to get the best out of him even more than how he is already. And obviously there was no Paul O'Connor in it because he's doing his 3-match suspension. Obviously after getting a red card against Port Vale last week. So obviously it was time for some of the fringe players to step up and really show what they can do. But today I thought the first half was really, really brilliant. I thought the whole team played very well. I thought Jensen pulled off some wicked saves in the first half. I thought we had two, three, four more clear-cut chances to go on and score. But, obviously, Sorensen's chance, Smith's chance as well, obviously, was unlucky. Mandroy's free kick as well, and Hamilton's shot in the second half as well was the chances that we had. But I thought we had a better first half than Stevenage. Stevenage couldn't handle us. Stevenage couldn't handle the fact that we, Lincoln City, were attacking them. We were making them work. We was making them feel like they had nothing else to do. And I thought, listen, it's Skabala's first game, and Skabala, obviously has a lot to do. But I'm going to go on to that in a minute. And in halftime, we're 0-0. We go into halftime 0-0. Only one thing I probably would say is that maybe the changes could have been done much sooner in the set before the second half had started, because realistically, I ain't gonna lie or whatever, Stevenage were the better side in the second half. And then when Stevenage come guns blazing, despite that they actually came out on top, out onto the pitch, they were basically causing us problems and going forward, and they were making things happen. They were making our defense worry. I mean, playing from the back and making us make mistakes at the back. Even though I'm not a fan of Stevenge, but I've got to give credit where it's due. They are 4 games unbeaten at home because they showed us what we weren't doing. They showed us what we're lacking, and that is that we're lacking in the final third, and that is our worry. Obviously, look, we're pleased and happy that Vale is back. We're pleased and happy that Jack Vale is obviously playing games as he should do and showing what he can do. But he felt isolated. I mean, yeah, I know when Vale is on the ball, he makes an impact. And, obviously Skabala took him off and put Duffy on and put Makama on. Maybe Shadipo could have come on, because I felt like it was calling for a Shadipo. It was calling for it. But obviously, you got to respect Skabala's choices. You got to respect who he wants to put on, because his his faith is in the young stars, and he wants to get the best out of them and help them to really develop and improve. But the second half just was flat. It wasn't good enough, and that's the reason we got punished. We got punished because they showed us what we weren't doing in the second half. And when they scored, then it was just all of them in the defense. All of them were causing us problems and making us work even harder than how we are already. And that's the reason why we lost. And then as soon as they scored, the dominance of Stevenage came into it. And that's the reason why they won the game. That's the reason why they are where they are in the table. They are sick. They're in the top five this season because they are now 5 games unbeaten this season. And that's the reason why, they won the game fair and square. Fair play to Steve Evans, even though I don't like Steve Evans. But realistically, obviously, it was a poor performance. It was a shambolic performance, especially in the second half. We wasn't good enough in the second half, and it has to change. It's going to take Skabala time this month, next month, going into January. And I'm going to say it. January is very, very crucial for us because we, Lincoln City, haven't got a striker. Yes, Jack Vale is there. Jack Vale, obviously Tyler Walker's back on the grass and he's making Ems me, we can't wait for him to come back. We can't wait for him to do what he does best because I really want to see Tyler Walker scoring and I want to see Tyler Walker making his presence known. But today, it wasn't a good performance. Even when we conceded the goal, the chances we created, it looked flat. Like the players had no interest. Like the body language said it all. And I don't blame the Imps fans. The only ones that turned up was us Imps fans. We more turned up more than the players did. And this is why I said from time that we Lincoln City need another striker. We need to bring reinforcements in January because January is going to be very, very massive. It's going to be very, very, very key. And also, it's going to be very interesting to see which young prospect forward slash maybe an experienced player, depending on the situation. Obviously, look, Jack Moylan is coming in January, on January 1st. We're all looking forward to Jack Moylan coming. I can't wait to see what he's going to really, really bring because he's been dominating in the League of Ireland. You never know, we might even bring an Irish, maybe 1 or 2 Irish players into the fold. But look, listen, we have to give it time with Skabala. We have to still support him, still back him. But today's result was showing that we lack something that they have. They have attacking in their final third. We don't have that. So until we get a striker to come in, or 1 or 2 strikers to come in to back up House, to back up Walker, to back up Vale, even though Vale is not our player, he is only our player on loan, then obviously, the final third is going to be problems for us. But realistically, I think the chances we had in the first half, we didn't create them in the second half, and we didn't look like the team that wanted to really go on and say, okay, yeah, 4 minutes of added time, let's go on and go and get a goal and try and win and try and score. We didn't do that in the second half, and that's why we got punished. We got punished because we didn't create no chances in the second half. We only had 2 shots. We had the first one from Smith. We had the first one. The second one was from Hamilton in the second half. And then after that, we kept passing it around, passing it back to the keeper. The keeper, even if it wasn't for Jensen, it could have been two or 3 goals for Stevenage in that second half. But we just wasn't good enough in the second half, and the players have to have a real look at themselves. And I want to see a response on Tuesday. I want to see us really going at Leyton Orient, because Leyton Orient were going to be watching this game and saying, you know what? There's some real weaknesses in their team. They ain't got no striker in the final third. We ain't got no Tyler Walker in it. Obviously, we all know that Ben House is out for 3 to 5 months. So we desperately need a striker in January to come in. Not on a free, because we won't be able to afford them, and we won't be able to afford the wages what they're asking for. But one thing I will say for sure, and I will say it without fail, that we Lincoln City, we lacked in the final third, and that's the reason why. Look, we played well in the first half, but second half wasn't good enough, and obviously we need to go into the Leyton Orient game and really, really show the fighting spirit, the determination, a bounce back ability, a better performance being shown, and just get a win on Skabala's first game of first game as manager. Today, obviously, it didn't happen, but I'm optimistic and positive that it will happen on Tuesday against Leighton Orient. Barnsley, obviously, obviously it sucks without Paudie O'Connor in it, because obviously Paudie O'Connor is out for 3 games through suspension. But I do know this, and I will say this for sure: January is going to be massive for us, because obviously when we are 3-4 points off the playoffs for the top 6, and if we carry on playing the way we're playing, then it's looking like it's going to fade away. But listen, it's not going to fade away, because I'm not giving up on this team, and I'm not giving up on Lincoln City Football Club as a club, and on the players. I ain't giving up on them. I'm still supporting them, backing them through every step of the way. But today's performance, especially in that second half, it wasn't good enough, and the players have to really put in a better performance and improve where they went wrong and how they can go about it in the next game against Leighton Orient, because away at Leighton Orient ain't going to be easy because of the type of football they're playing. But this would have been a fantastic opportunity for us to go on and win against Stevenage and really put smiles on our faces as Imps fans. But right now, I think we made the most noise, despite that, fair play to the Stevenage fans. They made noise when they scored, and that's what drove them to go on and win the game. And now they're 5 games unbeaten at home. Look, but at the end of the day, or whatever, we can't give hells on Skubala. We can't give hells. Maybe, yes. One thing I will say, I want to see us probably go on and play a different formation in the next game. But obviously, it's still going to be 3-4-3. And I feel that 3-4-3 don't really work with us, because despite we're playing 3 at the back, despite we're playing 2 in midfield, it's despite we're playing, 2 on both wings, and then plus the striker, and then plus the right and left wing backs, a full and plus the keeper. I just feel like the formation doesn't really work with us, and I feel like maybe we need to try. I think Skopala needs to try and play 4-2-3-1. Try and play that 4-2-3-1 and see where that goes. See what happens, and if he plays that, it will suit the players for sure. But listen, it is the first time that we're seeing Skopala. Excuse me, and not only just that, it's his first game in charge. So we've got to be patient as fans. It will come. The winning mentality will come. The positivity and the land of optimism will soon come. But right now, today's result proved that we're lacking in the final third. And until, obviously, Skubala works his magic in January and brings the right strikers, brings the right players to come into Lincoln City Football Club, then obviously we're going to be on the ropes this season. But look, listen, one thing we can take away is that we had a fantastic first half. We were better in the first half. Stevenage was better in the second half, and they proved that in the second half why we like what they have got. But one thing I will say for sure is that us, Lincoln City, will rise above it, and we won't give in come Tuesday. But look, listen, one thing we can be proud of is that, us Imps fans had a fantastic away day. We enjoyed ourselves. Yeah, the result didn't really help, but one thing I will say is that we will bounce back on Tuesday. I expect the players to bounce back. I expect, Skopala to really stamp his authority on this team and really get the players really motivated and energetic and positive in going into Leighton Orient, because right now we need to bounce back. The best player, I've got to be honest, was TJ Ulmer. I thought he had the best game today. I thought he worked really hard. I thought he put his body on the line. I thought he got into brilliant tackles, good standing up of the opposition. I thought he worked very hard. I thought he worked very hard. Mitchell played really well. Jackson played really well in that first half. But other than that, the second half just wasn't good enough. And I'll be honest, we just didn't play really well in that second half. And I'm just being honest here. But most importantly, I feel like us, Lincoln City, really need to improve in January, because the January transfer window is not far away. But that performance in that second half, it wasn't good enough, and we have to be real. We got to be honest. As me, as Cornell B, as the land of optimism, land of positivity, I would have to say the first half was positive and optimistic, but the second half just was not good enough, and I will accept that, and I think we will. I think the players have got to take responsibility, because if you want to play for this club and you want to show your mentality for this team, you got to really you really got to make an effort. You really got to give your all, because playing for Lincoln City is an absolute joy for any player. Doesn't matter if it's a young player, don't matter if it's an older player. But today wasn't good enough, and it was dismal. And right now, the players need to find a way to bounce back on Tuesday against Leighton Orient, because Leighton Orient would have been watching this and they would have seen that, we didn't, that we lost the game today to Stevenage, to a side that obviously, I think that will do well this year, and I think they'll probably go be around the top five this season. I think Stevenage, fair play to them, as I said. It's fair play to Steve Evans, even though I'm not a fan of Steve Evans, but you got to give credit where it's due, and the credit was due today. So obviously, respect goes to them. Although yes, you're not supposed to be respecting the opposition, but out of that respect that way. But obviously, the loss didn't really help. So I'm looking for a bounce back ability. I'm looking for the players to really strike back and really do something on Saturday, on Tuesday. Saturday, the same thing, because we're going to be coming up against it. And we cannot mess up. We cannot mess up on Tuesday. We can't mess up next week. So this is a message to the Lincoln City players. They have to bounce back on Tuesday. They have to. They have to give Skubala his first win on the dot, just to obviously take the pressure off him, obviously, because we all know he's a very fantastic manager, 20 years of experience in the managing scene, and he's got absolutely everything. Even though, yes, he got a yellow card, and for making his feelings well known, fair play on the referee. But look, listen, at the end of the day, we didn't play very well, and we got what we deserve. But other than that, Tuesday against Leighton Orient is a must-win game and a must bounce back win. Thank you very, very much for watching the Imps View podcast show with me, Cornell B, live and direct. Hoping you guys got home safe. Obviously, I really enjoyed my away day today with the fans today. Thank you so much to everybody that's been watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Up the mighty Imps.